Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Rogue ST Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Welcome to our Golf Central studios. I'm Amy Rogers. Here's a look at the round 2 leaderboard from the RBC Canadian Open. Wyndham Clark leads the way on day 2. After an opening round 63, Clark maintains his spot atop the leaderboard with a 70 on Friday. Defending champion Rory McIlroy making a move on Friday with a 68 to sit just 1 back heading into the weekend. And world number 1 Scottie Scheffler also making up some ground after struggles on day 1. He sits just 3 back. Now let's hear from the players who spoke to the media after day 2.
Felt like I've been hitting the ball really well the last couple of days. Drove it really well yesterday. Only missed 1 fairway. It was in the first cut of rough, and the rough's pretty juicy here, so it's nice to be able to stay out of that. I didn't drive it as well today, but I scrambled a little bit. The fairways I did miss, I felt like I missed it on the side where I was shooting kind of up the green instead of across the bunker or something. So I was able to make a score out of it. But yeah, probably shouldn't have bogeyed those 2 par 3s that I did on my second 9. But yeah, very pleased overall.
You mentioned the rough being difficult this week. A lot of guys are talking about that. How does this course kind of fit your eye?
It's good. I feel like most of the fairways are fairly generous, and it's not super firm. I can't imagine what this course would be like if the ball's running 30 or 40 yards in the fairway. But yeah, I like it, and I like this type of grass, and the views are nice. I feel like I do pretty well on courses that have some elevation changes, so I like that aspect of it as well.
Hey Alex, you had a couple top 10s this season. I'm just curious what you learned from those experiences that'll help you prepare for this weekend.
Probably the biggest thing was that I can compete out here. That was just validation for me that I can compete at the highest level and play with the guys out here. And then just realizing that not everybody hits a shot where they're looking exactly every single time. You don't have to be perfect. There's no one right way to play golf. You just have to make a score out of what you do. So those are probably the 2 things that I learned the most.
Yeah, I feel like I played all right. I did some good things and some bad things out there, and overall with how I played, I'm happy to be someone in the tournament. Today I felt like I could have gone either direction, really good or really bad, but overall fairly happy with how I played.
Questions?
Just comment on the test that the golf course is offering this week through 2 days.
Yeah, the rough is up. These greens have a lot of pitch in them, so birdies are kind of hard to come by just because there's so much slope in the green. Even when you hit a really good shot, you're kind of stuck in a position where you got a putt that has just a ton of movement. Yeah. And so it's definitely a challenging course.
Is it nice to look up the leaderboard and realize that you haven't even literally lost any ground and nobody's gone low this morning?
Yeah, I mean the wind was up pretty high this morning. I don't know what it was like yesterday morning, but today the wind was definitely up, and hopefully it'll stay that way for the rest of the day, but who knows?
Go ahead.
How'd that sound?
Perfect.
That's all right. We'll get through it. Scottie, obviously your first time here at the Canadian Open. How has the fan support been the last couple of days?
Yeah, fan support's been great. Definitely a good turnout. The crowd they were there pretty early this morning. I was surprised. We were going off at like 7:10, and by the time we got to 10 green, everybody seemed like they were out there, which was definitely fun. 9. Forget we're starting on 9. But yeah, it's been great. I had a lot of fun first 2 days, and hopefully the support will be just as good on the weekend.
Yesterday, you started with back-to-back bogeys, but how do you kind of mentally wrap your head around the fact to realize, yeah, okay, fine, that wasn't a great start, but there's still a lot of golf left here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my game's in a decent spot right now, and so if I just kind of keep doing what I'm doing, not overreact to things, 2 bogeys to start. Definitely bogeying 1's really frustrating because it's not a hard hole. And 2's, not an easy hole, but it's not that hard either. And so it's definitely frustrating, but just kind of stayed in it. And I had a chance to turn in a really good score yesterday afternoon, and I finished with 2 bogeys too. So other than the start and the finish, yesterday was a great round.
Scottie, a lot of guys like to take the week off before a major. How do you balance that between staying in the game and the need for rest?
Yeah, typically I play a week before a major. That's something that's worked for me well in the past. I kind of like playing into those events. And so for me, getting a good prep week here where I can get some practice in and the golf course is somewhat similar is really helpful.
Played okay. I mean, I would have liked to hit a few more fairways and been able to attack some more pins. So a lot of it was just, trying to get the ball in the green from where I was. But I feel like when I did hit in the correct spots, I was able to make some birdies, and I think that's going to be key going into the weekend. It's a tricky golf course. It's hard to get it close to a lot of these pins, and when you do, there's a lot of slope. So a lot of times you have to be kind of defensive on putting. So I just need to kind of tighten it up a little bit and see what can happen this weekend.
And how did the wind and the conditions play this morning?
Yeah, I feel like it picked up a little bit more maybe than what the forecast said, which always makes it a little more difficult. And you turn around and play the front nine with some of the more difficult holes, and like I said, where I was hitting in the rough, it makes those holes that much harder. But yeah, overall a solid day. I think I'm in a good spot going into the weekend.
Okay. Questions?
With the way the rough was, is this a good test heading into next weekend where the U.S. Open is notoriously thick rough?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, I feel a little sore after today, how many times I had to hit out of the rough. But, yeah, I think it's a great test. I mean, this weekend, next week, huge importance off the tee of getting the ball in the fairway. And, like I said, I need to do a little bit better of a job going forward.
Some players like to take the week before a major off. What's the balance there between staying competitive and playing or opting for rest?
Yeah, I think for me, I prefer to play the week before, especially an event like this. That hasn't happened in a couple of years, and I know the Canadian fans are really excited for us to be here this week. We're all excited to play, and I've been looking forward to coming up here for a while now. So it's a really fun week for me. It's fun to be out here in front of these fans, and it's also a great prep for next week.
The 42nd Curtis Cup between the U.S. and Great Britain and Ireland began on Friday. Team USA led the morning four-ball session 2-1 and swept the afternoon foursomes to take a commanding 5-1 lead into the day two matches on Saturday. Team USA's Rachel Heck and Rose Zhang spoke with Karen Stupples after their victory Friday afternoon.
You were 2 down after 3 holes. What did you tell each other to kind of perk yourself up to get back on that train to bring this match?
Honestly, we didn't tell each other anything. We knew that we had to stay patient, and we knew each other's games so well. We're teammates in college, so, it's just very natural, and we stuck it out, and we knew that we had it in ourselves to, just play well and stay consistent. So that's exactly what we did.
Rachel, it looked like you two paired really well together. Obviously, you're great teammates, you're great friends. Rose, you played much better in the afternoon. Do you think, Rachel, that was your influence on Rose?
I think that's just Rose, honestly. Players like that, aren't too affected by one bad round. She can bounce back in a heartbeat. And, even we were 2 down. The 2 down was kind of my bad. I wasn't playing great. But, we were walking up the fairway, joking around, singing songs. We were really unfazed. She's a great player, so there's really no surprise there. I don't think anyone's surprised.
Well, that's what great teammates do. Well done, you two. Congratulations on a great victory.
Thank you.
Busy week in golf continues on Saturday. Here's just a look at part of that lineup. Grab your coffee and enjoy the DP World Tour in the morning, followed by the Curtis Cup, and then the RBC Canadian Open and the LPGA ShopRite LPGA Classic in the afternoon. And then the Korn Ferry Tour gets underway with the BMW Charity Pro-Am, followed by more coverage of the Curtis Cup.